5 News This Morning starts now.
I knew him, so it's quite a shock.
This morning, we're learning more about the Devil's Den double homicide suspect and his upbringing in Illinois. This morning, we'll hear from a childhood friend.
As you walk out the door this morning, wherever you are across the region, we're seeing some comfortable and quiet conditions. Eventually, though, it's going to get a little bit hotter to end the week. We'll talk about that more coming up.
And there's been a surge in EBT fraud in Arkansas, with hundreds reporting accounts drained within hours of making a deposit. More on how this is affecting families. First, a live look outside in Johnson from our camera right on top of the station. 6 a.m. on this Monday. Hopefully you're off to a great start. For some people, it's the first week of school. For others, it's that last week before school. Hard to believe y'all are moving the daughter in this week to college.
Yeah, on Wednesday, my bad, on Wednesday. And I don't know, I feel so excited, like super excited, but then I just feel like I want to cry. My heart's broken.
I know, but at least she won't be far.
I know, but she's leaving my home, and that's not fun.
I know. You're going to be spending the night in that
Sorry,
dorm.
I'm not trying to be a bummer. Okay, let's talk about the weather. Looking pretty good so
It's
far.
good for moving this week.
Yes, good for moving this week. Good for those that are entering the first week of school. Good for those that are starting to wrap up the summer. Overall, not too shabby. 66 degrees currently in the land of Walmart in Bentonville. Dew point is 62, so it feels very comfortable. Very light wind as well, and we'll keep that light wind as we go throughout the day today. As well as tomorrow, we're kind of locked in between two systems, so there's not much air kind of moving in and out. It is a little bit muggier, slightly muggier this morning at this point compared to yesterday morning, but not a super noticeable difference. But that kind of trend of a couple degrees here and there for the next couple of days will begin to rise, and we'll see it get slightly muggier as we end the week. A little bit more cloud cover in the River Valley. You can see especially along and south of I-40. A little bit more sunshine in northwest Arkansas. Eventually, those clouds will expand later this afternoon. And we'll see more cloud cover as we head throughout the day. Northwest Arkansas temperatures will reach the maybe close to the upper 80s, but most of northwest Arkansas will stay below that. Some of the River Valley will approach the upper 80s and low 90s, and with maybe a stray shower chance. Just keep an eye on it for the radar this afternoon, but most of us do stay dry. We'll talk more about the heat coming up, as well as maybe a little bit of some isolated rain chances in your full forecast. For now, we'll take a live look at traffic on this Monday morning. Take a live look along I-540 at the Arkansas-Oklahoma border. Traffic moving smoothly so far on this Monday morning. Let's have a great day out there, everyone. We'll have that full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, this morning we are learning more about the suspect's past in the double homicide at Devil's Den State Park. Andrew James McGann is accused of killing Kristen and Clinton Brink on a walking trail there.
McGann grew up in Chicago and graduated from Fenwick High School in Oak Park, Illinois, back in 2015. According to people who knew him, he played on the football and baseball team there. A childhood friend of McGann said that he is unsure what happened to lead him to become a murder suspect.
What goes through your head is, the first thing you think of is, how can someone possibly do this? And then a second thought makes you think, what went wrong? I just want to send my condolences to the family, like families affected, Arkansas, everything. It's just brutal.
McGann's arraignment in Washington County is set for August 25th.
And a fundraiser set up by the family of Kristen and Clinton Brink continues to exceed goals this morning. The fundraiser, which began on July 27th with the goal of just $6,500. As of this morning, the current donations are over $73,000. It has a new $80,000 goal. The expenses, according to the page, are said to go to funeral expenses and the daughters they leave behind.
We'll keep up with developments as they come in here at 5 News. You can do that on 5 News Plus by texting the word plus to 479-785-5000, and we'll give you instructions on how to download it to your smart TV.
Well, in other news this morning, a man who pleaded guilty to a Fordyce mass shooting at a grocery store in Arkansas in 2024 will be sentenced today. Instead of the trial, Travis Posey opted for the guilty plea to 4 counts of capital murder and 11 counts of attempted capital murder. Prosecutors and police have still not publicly identified any motive from Posey. And developing in Montana, police say the manhunt for a military veteran is underway after a shooting left 4 people dead in Anaconda. Officials released an image of the suspected shooter, Michael Brown, shirtless and without shoes. They say this image here was taken as he fled the scene. Police believe the suspect was a regular at the Owl Bar where the shooting happened. According to officials, he fled in a white pickup truck and was briefly pursued by law enforcement. Locals say the suspected shooter did have a history of mental health issues. He also previously served in both the Army and National Guard.
Vehicle he ended up grabbing was loaded full of equipment. It was not his vehicle, it was a stolen vehicle, but there was camping equipment in it. We believe there was some clothing in it.
Well, investigators found the truck they say Brown used to get away, but no sign of the man accused in this quadruple homicide, though a $7,500 reward is being offered to anyone with information.
Well, in Tennessee, 2 men have been arrested and charged with accessory after the fact of first-degree murder. This is the manhunt for Austin Drummond continues. Authorities did not say how the men allegedly helped Drummond. The 28-year-old is a suspect involved in a quadruple homicide that left 4 family members dead in Lake County. The manhunt was initiated after linking the murders to an abandoned infant dropped off in a front yard on July 28th.
Well, another developing news this morning, Texas State House Democrats left Texas Sunday to prevent a vote on an effort to redraw the state's congressional map. The decision temporarily blocks the Texas GOP to move forward. The proposal could eliminate 5 Democratic U.S. House seats ahead of the 2026 midterms.
We did not make the decision to come here today. We did not make that decision lightly. We come here today with absolute moral clarity.
Texas Republicans justified the redistricting, stating that the current maps are racially gerrymandered. Democrats have said it would suppress the votes of people of color. Well, this comes as Boeing employees in Missouri and Illinois who build fighter jets are going on strike. The union that represents the 3,200 workers say they rejected a 4-year deal. Boeing says that the agreement would have boosted wages by an average of 40% and improved medical, pension, and overtime benefits. Boeing machinists also went on strike last year for 7 weeks before accepting a new contract.
With the closing of the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, a local NPR affiliate is launching an emergency fundraising campaign today. KUAF in Fayetteville is launching Bridge the Gap. The goal is to replace the federal funding that's been there for generations. Station General Manager Clint Schaff says that although they are in the wake of cuts, he's hopeful of how he's seen the community come together.
We're hearing from a lot of people. People are calling and emailing and asking, what can we do to help?
Well, the station says it provides essential services to rural areas, including emergency alert systems that warn of incoming tornadoes.
Well, a surge in EBT fraud in Arkansas has left hundreds with their food assistance drained. And just within hours of deposit, Arkansas's Attorney General Tim Griffin has created a task force because of it. It will combat fraud with a group that looks at the EBT scams. He says that prevention is key for keeping the benefits in the hands of Arkansas families instead of criminals. The Attorney General also says reporting it will allow for their task force to grow their knowledge.
We want people to report this because as we learn the new ways that the EBT scams are being conducted, then we can do a better job of educating and updating what we're telling to the public.
Well, they say being vigilant about purchases and monitoring are 2 steps to make sure benefits remain safe. The AG's office says you can call them directly as well to file a report. Well, just in time for the new school year, students in the Rogers School District are getting a fiery new tool for learning, a real fire truck donated by a local fire department. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi shows us how this unique donation is fueling student learning in a new way. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Joe. Look, Tiffany, I heard you say a little earlier that, this is the last week of freedom for students. School starts next week for a lot of districts, including Rogers. But I can tell you right now, if I had a class or some of the classes like Rogers was offering, I'd be very excited to be heading back to the classroom. Now, they just got a fancy new toy. They got a new fire truck that was donated by the Rogers Fire Department. That's not just for show, right? It'll be used for hands-on experience to help these students pursue any career that they want moving forward. Now take a look. This is the video of the fire truck that was recently donated by the Rogers Public Schools. School officials say that it'll be put to work in the district's medium and heavy truck program, which is part of Rogers' career and technical education pathway. And starting this school year, students will get hands-on experience running diagnostics on this engine and transmission. The truck will also help train future technicians on how to conduct Department of Transportation inspections and routine preventative maintenance all critical skills for working with heavy-duty vehicles. And the program director says that this donation is a game changer for the district. It's giving students another real-world tool to help them discover a career path after graduation.
We want our students to be ready for whichever pathway they take after high school, and a big part of that is them getting in the shops, really getting on their feet in the classrooms and doing those hands-on experiences. And so things like our fire truck that was donated today by the Rogers Fire Department is really going to aid in that to ensure that our students are ready for those next steps.
Like I said, school starts next week. Maybe some students are finalizing their schedules, trying to figure out what classes they want to take. The district says that any students in part of the 3 high schools here in Rogers can take part in classes here at the Career Center. So maybe this is just another option of a class to take. Maybe you wanted to get some hands-on experience, learn something new. This is definitely one of those avenues to do that. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Jacob. Well, in eastern Oklahoma, crews are updating the community's access to faster internet. This is a project that is expected to help businesses, students, and more succeed. It's using money from federal grants and donors totaling over $58 million. The Oklahoma Broadband Office says rural Oklahomans have missed out on opportunities, stating that rural Oklahoma has been, quote, left behind in the digital age. It says this is especially true for students here.
Fact is that whether you live in Heavener or Howe or Cameron, Pocho, you should be able to compete with kids who live in New York City, Dallas, or Los Angeles.
Well, the project is set to be complete by October 2026 with $30 million invested in LaFleur County alone.